Hi, I'm Richard.
And I'm Leslie.
And on our travels today, we're going to climb a mountain. The highest mountain in the UK at 1,344 metres, 4,409 feet above sea level. It is, of course, Ben Nevis, near Fort William, in the Grampian Mountains in the Highlands of Scotland. For most people, the walk usually starts from the visitor centre just outside Fort William, and a gentle incline to start the walk. However, we were staying at the Ben Nevis campsite and didn't want to walk the mile down to walk back again, so we took the shortcut from the youth hostel. However, this meant a steep slope, generally known as Heart Attack Pass. From the youth hostel, it's just a case of crossing the road, the bridge across the river, walking up the steep slope, Heart Attack Pass, to join the main route from the visitor centre. The average time for up and down is 7 to 8 hours, so we left the campsite just before 9, picking up the route from the youth hostel at 8 minutes past. This was by far the steepest part of the journey, but at least we were doing it fresh, and it wasn't too bad once we got onto the route. Definitely better than walking the mile down to walk back again. But the rest of it then became a gentle incline most of the way up. There was nothing really hard, just the doubling back on itself. When we reached what is generally known as Halfway Lake, we sat and had a break and a bit of something to eat while enjoying the great view. A pile of rocks to the left of the steps provided a great seat for this. We were now 2.5 hours into our journey, which, as you can see, is the doubling back all the time, not that it's particularly hard walk. This route is an old pony track built in 1883 for supplies to be taken to the observatory built on the summit, and although generally sound, it does get a bit rocky like this waterfall area in places, but generally is easy going. Having said that, you do need to be equipped for all weathers. The day we were there, in June, we saw all weathers from bright sunshine, rain, thick fog, snow, ice. We had it all, and the fog does come in fast, which can severely restrict visibility. International Student Movement also have a peace memorial as a tribute to the fallen of all nations, erected in 1965. So, 5 hours after leaving, we eventually reached the summit. We arrived in fog and couldn't really see much, but we were there for an hour. We had 2 20-minute stops on the way up, and as I say, while we were there, we were filming and didn't think we were going to get the view, but fortunately it cleared, and unlike many that had come down before us, we were greeted with fantastic views. Well worth the effort. I highly recommend it. You don't need to be particularly active, you just need to have the power to keep going. It is a long trek, and as I say, you do go through all weathers, but if you can keep going, it's really, really rewarding. The summit is a collapsed volcano covering 40 hectares, 100 acres, or 400,000 square metres. But there are lots of deep crevices and a lot of dangers, so you do have to be careful, including snowbanks and snowdrifts where there's obviously no land under. So it is a dangerous terrain. Probably better saying could be dangerous terrain, but again, it depends on the weather. The first recorded ascent was in August 1771, 17th of August to be precise, by a James Robertson. But that was well before the pony track had been built, so he was doing it in its natural terrain, followed by several others. In 2016, the Ordnance Survey remeasured it, and it is now recorded at 1,344.527 metres, 4,411 feet, so it is now recorded as a fraction higher than before. After an hour at the summit, we decided to make our descent, which was even better than the ascent, as we were facing amazing views, even with the fog and rain. But the fog, watching it come and go, was an amazing thing in itself, and the views were so rewarding. It is estimated that 160,000 people a year climb Ben Nevis. 3/4 of them follow the pony track. This can be as many as 1,000 in a day, although there are several who attempt and don't make it. I was surprised at how many were still going up as we were approaching the base towards 5 and 6 o'clock in the evening, although it was June. Our descent was half the time of the ascent, although I find it easier coming down, whereas Richard finds it harder to come down. So here we are 10 hours later back at the base, although we had 2 hours worth of breaks, an hour at the top and 2 breaks for eating on the way up, a couple of short stops on the way down. We were more than ready for a lovely hot shower and our barbecue tea. I highly recommend the Ben Nevis campsite for those wanting to stay in the area, although as I said there is the youth hostel which we did visit and other places in the area. The hostel and the campsite of course being the most convenient. So thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. It is really just about Ben Nevis, although there's so much more in the area and I have lots more to share, but that of course is another video. Thanks for watching. I'm Leslie and I'm still young at heart.